All right, folks, hope you're doing well. It's 2:40 on the 4th of July 2020. This will just be a quick little video. The title of it will be something similar to a perfect little poo storm. I'll explain why. You'll get to understand. We're talking really January, February is when this really started to get going. There's a few things that happened at that time, January, February. I started doing a lot more videos on a more regular basis. January 26th, I did a video called Mollie Pup 5 weeks old. Before that, the last video before that was 14th of October 2019. Christianity and the far left. Now that was a good few months before. So with that being the case, it then came to the next video was 23rd of February. And on that day, I released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos. After that, 2 days later, another video. 2 days after that, another video. 1 day after that, another video. 1 day after that, another video. 2 days after, another video. 2 more videos. Etc, etc, etc. The videos just kept on coming and coming more and more and more and more and more. Now, what also happened at that point in time is that we were told about this COVID-19. We were told that dogs could get it. At that point, that's what they were telling us. What also happened at that point in time, and what encouraged the videos to be done more often, was that there was that prophecy given that God is going to sort the church out in a year's time. In this year, he's going to give the people that were in the way a chance to get out of the way or get right with him. And then by the end of the year, he's going to start sorting the church out. So that prophecy was given at that point. That's why the videos started to increase. So previous to that point in time, you got cigarette butts falling down into my area, which weren't such an issue before that. Not really. Not such an issue at all. You also have around that sort of time, January, February sort of time, is where the DVLA take away my license because of this, the fear they had after somebody drove a truck for a load of people because they had a fit. Anyone with any condition at all, they want evidence to say that they're safe to drive, or they take away their license. So because the doctor involved delayed everything, and there was a problem with that, they took away my license for a good few months. Because of course Rona came in, and because Rona came in, that delayed getting everything sorted. So that got in the way of the fact that if I'm stressed, I can just get in the car, drive away somewhere, go out into the countryside and walk and get rid of all that stress. Just shout at God, do what I need to do in that way. They got rid of that. So you had really 4 things come together at one point in time. Had any of those things not been there, then the situation that's happened recently, the problems that have happened recently, wouldn't have happened. The reason why that understanding came is because I was walking and talking with someone last night, and that person said, for me to move out of my place, maybe I need to stop being a Christian for 2 years and lie in my application. So I've just got 1 dog and then move the other 4 in after, because he knows a number of people that have done that and got away with it. they've moved to a far better area with a much bigger property. They sort of con the system. And he said, "But that's the only way I seem to be that I'm likely to get out of my place, because I've been looking to get out of it for 6 years." Well, it's just, if you've listened to videos in the past, you know that this place is very small. It's a basement flat. It's tiny. Not such an issue for the dogs. In a way, it's better for them, because they get to sleep in the same room as I do, so they get to spend more time with me, which, as my dogs, that's really what they want to do. They wouldn't want to be in a separate room. If I had a bigger place, they certainly wouldn't be sleeping in the same room as me, because so often, especially when they're molting, the bedding is absolutely covered in dog hair. So as you're trying to lay down at night and sleep, you've got this irritation on your face, and it's a dog hair. So you're going to brush it off, and then you roll over, and you get more irritation. It's just more dog hairs. So you've got to go through the routine at night of brushing all the dog hairs off the pillow and off the sheet. And I wouldn't have that if I had a bigger space, because they wouldn't be in that room. They'd have their own room. So in many ways, it's better for them to be here, but not better for me. And if we had a bigger place and we had our own garden, they'd have their own garden anyway, so that'd be better for them. Not necessarily for me, because I have to cut the grass and do all that, which I don't have to do right now. Although we did do it when I first moved in. We had use of both gardens next to our neighbours and the people above their garden as well. We had use of both with the dogs, and we took care of both gardens, certainly for a while. We cut the grass with the garden above. When Grant was here, he tried to redo the turf. He got someone to redo it, and that person did a terrible job. There were areas of the garden that were sunken in. So what I did, I just took some soil from my area and just put it in the sunken areas bit by bit to raise it up, and got it better. It's not perfect, but we got it better. I put some grass seed and put grass seed down there, and the quick growing stuff. So, tried to make improvements to the area while we were using it, as appreciation for using it. So I would probably be fine with cutting the grass. But it's just a point of understanding that I've said before. Being honest in your applications doesn't seem to help. It doesn't. So doing things the world's way and lying and faking it would seem to be, certainly if you want something to happen in life, then you seem to need to do things that way. Certainly if you're looking for the world or the world system, the local council or a house and estate, to provide you with somewhere to live, then you've got to do things the world's way, which is lying and trying to con the system, which of course I wouldn't do. And I've said, no, I'm not going to do it. But to a certain degree, it does seem to make sense. And I said to God, I said, this is a challenge for you. When someone says you can't rely on God to help you to move to a better place, because God isn't doing so, you've got to do things according to the world system. Now that's a bit of a sort of challenge to God, isn't it, really? And that's how, when God told me or showed me last night, this morning sort of time, about this mini poo storm that just happened to have all these things come together at the same time to create this situation. And that came from the point that I was saying to God, well, why haven't you helped? Why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you, opened the door or anything, or even helped me to realize why I'm here? Because if I'm here for a reason, then I need to know that so I can fulfill that and move forwards. So I was saying to God, please explain to me, what's going on, what's What have I been doing wrong? What do I need to do? And then God sort of showed me about this perfect little poo storm. Just everything came together at the same time. So, yeah, but how was I supposed to necessarily deal with this better? I could have done better. Yes, of course. I could have done videos and made sure that I wasn't giving any impression that I was mentioning any individuals. I should have done that. Certainly, as soon as I realised that, that was an issue, I should have put more effort into doing that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's possible that certainly one video I've made, maybe at some point in time, I tried to have a little dig. Yeah, that's quite possible. And I'm sorry if that's the case. If I did that, certainly in the majority of videos, I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to use examples, and the problem is the examples were relevant and made people believe that the video was really all about them, which it wasn't supposed to be. Definitely not. So yeah, I can improve on the way I do things, but yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be the key for God to then say, there you go, there's the place. There's the place I promised you, 15 years ago. Because that's it. I looked at a place around about that sort of time. Or let's think, about 10 years ago. 10 years ago then. 10 years ago it was. And it would have been a place that I could have got dogs. It would have been a place, it would have been a 2-bedroom flat. They would have taken someone from DSS. Dogs allowed. It would have been bigger. It would have been near to the beach. So, nicer view. And the night before I was supposed to speak to the person about it, I heard pretty much an audible voice saying, forget that place. The place I have for you is better. And so I did. I forgot that place. I said, okay. All right. I trust you in that. Yeah, maybe that was something I shouldn't have trusted in. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I mean, I understand. When I moved, it was then that God told me I've been fighting depression since childhood. And at that point, depression came in like a flood. That probably wouldn't have happened had I moved into that place. Probably not. But that was probably a good thing that it did, got it out, and it can hopefully now be dealt with. That's the whole idea of getting something out, is that you can then deal with it. It can be sorted out now. So that was something dark and nasty that was in there that I was unaware of. That then came up because of the situation I was in and not going for that place, because I then became homeless. I then moved to a different area completely. And it was there that God then said that that's something you've been fighting since childhood. So as I say, I've been a Christian for at least 10 years beforehand, and God never mentioned that. So yeah, it's quite likely I needed to move into the area. Once I moved into the area, I was pretty much forced to move into the place I'm in by the council, by the local council, or the council I was in at the time, because I was in homeless accommodation at the time. And of course, that's quite expensive, so they wanted me to move somewhere. So yeah. And the first landlady I had here was a bit of a nightmare, to say the least. Clearly was just doing it purely for money. Absolutely. The place flooded, and it flooded before, flooded a lot. And she expected a tenant to deal with it. Which is like, excuse me? So they were testing times. In a flat that's far too small, to say the least, that floods. Great. But yeah, there you go. That'll do for this one. There's nothing more really to say about it. 15 minutes long. There you go. He's just talking about the fact that had a driving license not been taken away, that would have helped. Had there been no coronavirus, then the cigarette butts in my area wouldn't have been an issue. Not really, because they've been coming down for a long time before then, and they weren't that big an issue. Not really. But as soon as you were informed that, that the puppies could get the coronavirus, and of course these cigarette butts could have coronavirus on them, as far as you know, because people get the virus, and we knew then people get the virus and don't necessarily know they got it, but they could pass it on. It can still be lethal to whoever they pass it on to. Just because they've had it mild, it doesn't mean it's going to be mild to the next person. We knew that. And of course, if puppies got it, even though an older dog might survive it, puppies probably wouldn't. So, I say, if they'd have said at the beginning dogs can't get it, then that wouldn't have been an issue. Yeah. If the prophecy hadn't, I hadn't heard the prophecy at that time, then I probably wouldn't have increased the videos, which means I wouldn't have been making videos about the issues I was having with people, in which case there wouldn't have been insults on video. There wouldn't have been all the rest. So there's a load of things that were just coming together at that time. So strange. But there you go. Let's say if any one of those, or maybe two of those things hadn't have been happening, then the situation wouldn't have got anywhere near as bad as it did. Nowhere near. I still made mistakes, but I wouldn't have been in that situation where I was talking about the things that I was talking about. I'd have had other avenues to deal with it, etc., etc. There's so much that would have been different, or could have been different. Could have been different is more the point, I suppose. Not necessarily would have been, but could have been. So there you go. That's life. These storms can come in life, and when they do, you've got to learn to deal with it. You've got to learn to cope in the storm. And did I do well? No. Not really. No, I could have done so much better. And these are things I've got to learn from, understand all of that, learn from it, do things better, because you're going to have conflicts with people, but learn from it. So, anyway, you take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.